Welcome back to Star News. We're continuing our fire coverage out there on Spencer. We have Bob Sharp joining us here, who just got back from the scene. We'll go directly to that video, dramatic video there from the scene, no question about it.
Oh, absolutely. On a hot day like this and the fire, the intensity of it, the heat was just really overwhelming.
All right, let's see if we can go directly to that video shot there at the scene. And we understand that this was an automotive repair shop with the name 633 Automotive, and people tell me that's a Bible verse.
Well, it is a preacher that owns it, I understand.
All right, so it looks like
Yes, sir.
his house and the garage is totaled at this point. Apparently, when the firemen got there, it had already gotten out of control.
Absolutely.
All right, describe what we're seeing here.
Well, you see the house, the structure. It appeared that the fire had started here. This is where the most fire was. We were hearing it popping and little explosions and so forth. There you go, there's an explosion right there. They can pick that up. We know there were some propane tanks in there and other things, but they were just trying to get the trucks in there and get water as much as they could. And I thought they did a good job setting that up. They had to tote in the water. They're still toting in water. You wouldn't believe the trucks running up and down the road to make sure they don't run out of water there, because there's just no, fire plugs around there.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbor was the one that actually spotted the fire, called the fire department, went to the house, kicked in the door to see if anyone was inside. They rescued a dog and some furniture out of the living room. You'll see in the video it's piled up in the front yard. And fortunately, no one was home, no one was injured.
Incredible. Some of the pictures we're seeing right now, dramatic pictures there from the scene. Look at that. Look at that. Totally destroying that house and garage there, located at 1571 Old Well Road. We'll get the lower third if possible. Well, you can see just massive damage, and I hope they've got insurance.
This house has been there about 15 years. It originally started out with a trailer. A tree fell on it, crushed the trailer. And talking to folks that knew the people here, the original owners, the insurance company actually rebuilt this place for them about 15 years ago.
All right, and of course, extreme heat today. Apologize for some of that shaky video there, but just...
It's due to the heat. I didn't know the camera was on.
Right. I was out there covering it. I mean, is it pretty rough?
Awful, awful. I'm sitting there looking at these poor firemen, and I'll show you some pictures of them. They had to take, I think it was a fireman, they took to the hospital. It was just awful. It was just overwhelming. I'm in shorts and T-shirt, and the heat from the fire, and the heat from the fire engines, and the sun. I'm sitting there thinking, how in the world are they going to survive this? And some of them, they do good. I don't know how they get used to it, but they were throwing bottles of water out right and left to make sure they were well hydrated. But it was extremely hot fire, not to mention the heat too, so you just couldn't get away from it.
All right, and we're going to have some more coverage coming up here momentarily on this situation. Bob, you tell me the real story here is that they smelled propane yesterday?
That's right. Yesterday, neighbors and different folks, they said they had smelled propane, and they talked about, and they keep talking about the top. So I don't know if the propane, I guess that stuff rises when it gets hot, and it got in the top of the building. Some people said they didn't really pay much attention to it, but they could smell propane, and that appears to be where the fire had started. I can't say that that's the cause of the fire, but certainly I believe that may have had something to do with acceleration. And it may have started. It could have been some explosion, because you can see this fire was just out of control before it even got reported. Although the neighbor was able to get into the living part, he certainly couldn't get into the garage part, and he was able to save the animal that was there. But it spread very rapidly, very rapidly.
Major video there, shot there on the scene. For folks that might be wondering exactly where this is, up Route 58 near Spencer, tell me about it.
Best way to tell you is if you're going towards Stewart, leaving Martinsville, right after you pass to where you would turn to the airport, go the second road to your left. That's Old Well. And you go out there about a couple of miles, and the house is on the left.
Extensive coverage here on Star News as we're covering this story, and we'll be covering all kind of stories. Double fatality going on Route 58. It seems like the major stories today are all for Route 58. up there in the horse pasture community, they've got just some bad news from every direction today.
Absolutely do.
And we know one fireman who was taken away from heat exhaustion, and we'll be monitoring that as well. More extensive coverage will be coming up here on Star News on all the major stories that are going on across the Star News region, including 3,000 people without power here in Henry County and about 500 without power in Pittsylvania County. Mark Chury is going to have the latest on that and a whole lot more. Just want to remind you, you're watching Star News, your full-time TV station. We stayed working all weekend long with extensive coverage on the power outage when the power was back on, and you can count on Star News because we're going to be there 7 days a week. We'll be right back. Express Lube in Martinsville. They're more than an oil change. They've got a 16-point inspection.
Check your car for leaks, tires, batteries, belts, hoses, all that's added in with the price of your oil change. I don't think you can get that value anywhere else here in town.
And they're experts that know the business. And it's all led up by pro Eric McMillan, featured recently on the cover of RPM magazine as one of the best in the business.
We pride ourselves on the car not leaving the lot. If it has a concern, the customer's at least going to be made aware out of it before it leaves our premises.
McMillan is knowledgeable, and he's got the passion to get the job right the first time. So go to Express Lube in Martinsville, especially if you don't want a jiffy moment.
We don't want you to have to go anywhere else.
Express Lube is located right across the street from Liberty Fair Mall. Most visits take less than an hour.
Here come the ball. Yeah. Ricky, you're approved on every car on the lot. Witness, I'm approved on this? Yeah. Witness, I'm approved on this? Yes.
We finance not your past. We are the home of guaranteed credit approval. You are approved on every vehicle on the lot, now with 2 locations to serve you.
Boss Motor Company,